Hello, hello. How's everybody doing out there? That's right. YDBT Daily coming at you every Thursday. YDBT Daily, we get here live, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We talk some shit about what's going on in the automotive community. And in the last month or so, it's been just S650 and Ford stuff nonstop. There really hasn't been much traction and movement or anything else. And every day there seems to be something new that happens. And a bunch of insanely misinformed, raw nut riders from the rafters are out there telling you that the S650 is la luz. It's the new hotness. And I go, wait a minute. Whoa. Because we are the initiated. We have seen what the car can do. And simple math can help you explain why certain cars run a certain number. Today we'll talk about that. We'll do some math. We'll show you the proof. We'll show you how I got to the number. We'll show you what other cars similarly equipped have run with the same mods 3 years ago, just tuning attached. And again, tuning isn't this like magical 100 horsepower adder. Tuning facilitates the parts that are available in the market. We'll talk about what Steeda ended up doing with what mods back in 2019. We'll talk about what JPC is able to do without any tuning, which is impressive, but we'll put it in context so that the S650 nut riders that don't understand anything about weight, power, and tuning get up to snuff, because this is the reason I'm doing this. Again, JPC is not a target of this channel. Ford is, and the nut riders. What's going to happen in about, I want to say, a couple of years, tuning will be available. Some guy's going to buy a cold air, some suspension, and drag pack, and the car's going to run 11.6 and be totally confused why the car only ran 11.6. And he'll say, JPC ran 10 this, Steeda ran 11 this, 10.9, 11.2. Why is my tuned tire car that I haven't removed any weight from or done anything to the suspension or rotating mass not running the same numbers as they're running? That's why I'm doing it, so that I have a nice long video to reference and go, this is why that car ran that number. This is why your car does not run that number. Because to this day, I still do that on Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3. So before we do that, let's have Mr. Bill O'Reilly say hello to the people here. Yeah.
Okay. We'll do it live. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
It gets me every time.
Right. Fucking thing sucks.
That's right. The show is brought to you by a couple of sponsors that keep the disco ball rolling. 2 Auto Solutions. Rami Zidane, 2 Auto Solutions. We down like in a 1,300 horsepower car. They got some AMS stuff done up. Badass shit. 2 Auto Solutions down in Puerto Rico, getting the domestic market going. Race Motive on Instagram. Race Motive is a road race situation that they got going on in the Poconos and MIR. Check them out on Instagram, racemotive.com. D&H Performance, the online parts house of the show. D&H Performance, get all your parts there. Suspension, Steeda kits to make your car a lot lighter. You name it, they'll get it. Part Farm, they got 2 crashed S650s. They got plenty of Predator motors on the lot, Boss motors, you name it. Parts Farm has a lot of shit cooking. Check them out, partsfarm.com. Conformance.com, LSLT, you name it, they got it. Check them out, Conformance on Instagram. Ultimate Header, ultimateheader.com. PMAS, Nick James and PMAS, and Caliber Transmission, calibertransmission.com. I'm really curious to see what a Gen 3, what does he call this? S650, Gen 4.5, Gen 3.5. I'm curious to see what they end up running with a stick. I don't know what'll happen with that, because even Gen 3 stick didn't really do anything boost. They just kind of left it at 9.3 and left it alone. Diego Flores, 2000 MCR. Me, Travis, and Ali Al Husseini said hello. Anthony, Robostyle, Maki Mak, Joe Swift, Monty 540. Darren Harper, slow. Michael Riddle, I guess who's the owner or works on the car that JPC has. He thought we were like targeting him. The fuck, we don't. We're not here targeting anybody. We're here to target Ford and to help the dum-dums understand how that car runs that number. Slow 99, Slater, Elliott, 2JZ, Foxbody, Minibike, Madman, Slow 99, Douche did it, Minibike again, B. Lavesh, Slow 99 again, Minibike again, 3 people said hello, Maki Mak, Lethal, and I'm Hung So Low, Ken Phillips, Minibike, Infamous S550, JD Swag, Paul Pontieu, King Daddy, Kenneth Phillips again, King Daddy Fox, Factory S550, Paul Pontieu, again, King Daddy, let's go all the way down because a lot of people talked shit there for a while. Kenneth Kona Blue, Factory, Leo versus the Internet, Zach B, Kenneth Phillips again, Kona Blue SI50 again, my goodness, Thunder Biscuit, Only Rears, Butcher CS, Bootlegger, Maki Mock, Papi Culo, ha! Tita Sikorsky, Killa, EB, S550, Carlife, Alexi, Leo versus the internet. Again, Leo Rodriguez and all the usual suspects. Bryson Witt, Matt 2011 GT, the mods, JD Swag, Bryson Witt again. Okay, again, guys, if you want to join my Patreon, I will be starting a Patreon. All I do is talk stuff that I can't talk about here. It'll be 100% exclusive. No wrenches up my asshole. No calf shots. We're going to be talking car stuff, video stuff, exclusive to that. If you want to take your membership from here and transfer it over to that, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't expect you to double dip, but I'm doing that in case... You know how it is in modern culture with cancel culture. I want to have a backup. And if YouTube decides to demonetize or take away monetization, then at least I have that going, because Rumble wasn't working, X wasn't working, but Patreon is supported 100% by the fans. It's a subscription-based service, $15 a month. If you want to do it, cool. If you don't, not a problem. I love you. Okay, so JPC's car the other day ran a 10.8 naturally aspirated after installing a torque converter. And I think it has 373s, but I can't verify that because I don't know. But a lot of people were wondering, like, holy shit, this thing went 10s NA when Steeda was going 11.2. Well, I think if Steeda got themselves a nice torque converter on that car, I think it'll perform similarly, because I think both cars are similarly equipped. I think both cars are very similar in how they're put together. They have a lot of lightweight parts, this and this and that. But let's just slow down. How light do you think that car is? Luckily, you don't have to wonder, because Justin Burcham posted on Mod Motor Mustangs what that car weighs. What does a stock S650, Michael Riddle confirms, 373s. Look at that. So what does a stock S650 weigh? Base model, according to late model restoration. Well, luckily, I got some receipts just to give you guys some reference. And again, for the future, for the people that ask, I'm doing this for them. This is what their S650 weighed.
Mustang GT on the Proform wireless scales. And the way you see the car, this is a 400A package. It has the 10R80 automatic transmission, and it has about, I think, 3/4 of a tank of fuel. But for the sake of this car here, 3,843 pounds.
3,000. I'm going to do a nice flat number. 3,800 pounds. Let's just leave it at 3,800 pounds. So let's say you stick a 150-pound driver in that. That becomes a 3,950-pound car. So let's just clear this out. We do 3,950. Got it. So then Mr. Justin Burcham on Mod Motor Mustangs posted a race weight with him in it of 3,525. I'll play the video so you don't think I'm just doctoring it or anything like that. Let's do 3535. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's cut. Let's do 3535. So we do 3,950 race weight with him in it minus 3,535. The car is 415 pounds lighter than stock. So guys, that's pretty substantial. Okay, that's not nothing to sneeze at. And the reason I mention that is this. Are you, as a customer, going to remove 400 pounds from your car? Because a lot of people go, I can't wait to run that number. Okay, well, ho. Long tubes, no mufflers. Brakes. Drag pack. The interior, they only took the seats out and put a Kirky or something in it. That's normal. That's like standard shit. But the car has a lot of weight savings in the suspension area, maybe coilovers, no mufflers, drive shaft, rotating mass with the brakes, probably has ceramic TBMs, really nice brakes, and a drag pack. So again, just add that up. Add it up. Boom, 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 boom. Are you as a customer going to do that? More than likely not. Our 90% of our customers do this. They buy a tune and they leave the seats in it. That's it. They buy a tune, they leave the seats in it, and then they start E85, long tube, da. So if your race weight is not going to be 3,500 or 3,600, you're probably not going to get into the 10s naturally aspirated. Now, the good thing about this car that it's showing is that it's performing without a tune, and the tune that comes from the factory has drag mode enabled. So you can literally turn on drag mode and the car will shift firmer, and it will shift at about 7,500 RPMs. So a 3,500 pound car that makes 480 horsepower, 93 octane, And long tubes, ceramic brakes, or maybe lightweight TBMs or lightweight bare brakes, good drive shaft, and maybe a K member, but I'm not 100% sure because I'm not under that car. What should it run in the quarter mile? Now people say, well, it's not being tuned. I understand that. It's shifting at 7,500 RPMs from the factory. It has drag mode from the factory. So what should a 3,500 pound raceway car that makes with long tubes, so I'm saying it's probably slightly over 500 crank, 501, but 20 horse, because they took the cats out, right? I can't imagine there's catalytic converters in there. So what should that car run? Well, now let's say you're doing that and then you tune it. What should that car run? I think you can get, let's say if it's a 10.8 and you can get E85 in it and a tune and extend the RPM range, you could probably get a 1050 or 1040 out of it. Just like Steeda did 3 years ago. This car right here has exactly those mods. But again, a CJ intake. We've talked about CJ intakes do not give you any more power with stock cams. What they do is it takes the peak horsepower number and moves it to the right ever so slightly. Meaning now you have to shift at 8,000 RPMs to make the number the car would have made with the 18 manifold at 7,500 RPMs. So Steeda went 10 to 133, stock long block, stock cams, CJ, Steeda Cold Air, E85, and all their goodies. So when people say S650 shit on S550, I go, how? Because I think if you tune the S650, it'll run a similar number. They foot braked it to 10.2 and they trans braked it to 10.2. And I think this car had 3.15 gears. They tried 315s, 331, 355, 409s, and 373s. The 10R80 likes the 315 gears, the stock gears. And then, because we know that a CJ makes more power at high RPMs, they put cams in it. And what did it run with cams? 9.9, 139. So when people say S650 is king, I go, actually, it's about the same as S550, except from the factory, it's a little heavier. And that's what I've been saying the whole time, that the vast majority of customers are not going to do any weight reduction. The amount of weight reduction they're going to do at most is drag pack, maybe brakes, and maybe remove the passenger seat. So they're going to be very disappointed because they're going to go, wait a minute. Everything I saw on the internet told me that this car should run 10.8. Everything. Everyone said 10.8, 10.8, 10.8. And I'm struggling to get there on pump gas. And then, 4 years ago, Steeda was going 10.2. CJ, full bolt on. You want to do full bolt on, right? Full bolt on 10R80, 10.2. And then with cams, 990 with the 85 in Georgia, not anywhere else. Steeda runs in Georgia, not anywhere else that can see cooler weather. Understand that. So I think it is comparable. So what I'm telling you guys is if JPC, working with what they got, were able to run a 10.8, then with a 100-shot 10.3, and then the throttle body started to close at the top of the RPM. Supposedly, I heard a rumor, Birdie told me, that the throttle body started to close a little bit at wide open throttle. Okay, now it needs a tune. This is where tuning comes into play. So I think the JPC car, once tuning comes out, can absolutely run 1050, 1040, or 1030. But the problem is this. The weight is the biggest factor as to what's making this car perform, whether it's rotating or whether it is static weight. So what you're going to see is everyone pile on and say, no, it goes fast because of my suspension parts. It goes fast because of my lug nuts. It goes fast because of my window tint. People are going to attach themselves to this car. Like, Cold Air companies do. They attach themselves to an already vetted fast car and say, the performance on this car is totally caused by JLT. And you laugh your ass off. The initiated laugh their ass off. So that's what I wanted to reference the whole time. Now, Throttle House, because now we're talking a stock-ish S650, which is 80% of the population. A very tiny amount are going to do what JPC does. JPC, they're racers. They're going to do race car shit. Everybody else, and the vast majority of the customer base, does bolt-ons and does a slight little tune situation. So Throttle House got a hold of this car. And to say they were underwhelmed is actually an understatement.
Sort of around RCF track edition.
It was a 114.17.
The S650 10R80 Premium GT, not a Billy Badass, not a Dark Horse, not something with super sticky tires. But guys, don't you love the Schleckenbergs that tell you that this car is built to turn? This guy hated it. He said, I had to mess with the air pressures. It plowed all the time. So then the Schleckenbergs are telling you, well, with the track alignment and PP2, the PP2 packages, this thing will be ridiculous. Right. And if Grandma had balls, she'd be Grandpa. What was faster than this car around their track? A Dodge Charger Hellcat Red Eye. Literally a battleship with 800 horsepower. Beat it slightly. Tesla Model 3, Lexus RCF, Acura Integra Type S, and R, a Honda Civic, BMW M2, Ford Mustang GT, S550. Wow. PP2 though, good tires, stick, Tesla Plaid, and everything else on the planet. Let's hear a little bit from the guys.
So that shares the company with a
let's fast
100
forward.
now? It's 800.
He talked about the fact...
You put this thing on it.
There it is.
It should be. It's the brand new Mustang.
It's a cruiser.
It is a cruiser.
It's a cruiser.
It's definitely that. No, it didn't turn. You put this thing on a stickier tire, it's going to do a better time, obviously. But I couldn't get it to turn. I even screwed with the pressures. I broke my rule. I didn't do the 3 hot laps, 1 warm-up lap, 1 cool-down, as we do for every single car. I actually stopped, abandoned one of my laps, and altered the pressures.
So he was so frustrated with how this car drove on the track that he tried to alter the pressures to try to get it to turn. He's like, I can't get it to turn. Now the Schleckenbergs out there are going to tell you, but wait until the Dark Horse. Understand this. They got their hands on a GT and they're reviewing a GT. What do you want them to do? You want to slap on Sport Cup 2s or Trofeos and see what it does then it is not a GT. It is not a stock GT. It is an unmodified car. They put it up against a older outgoing 1LE, which is a performance package version of the Camaro, and the Camaro destroyed it. But again, I'm not a Camaro fan. But in that video, another thing you guys should have taken note of. Remember that Ford started offering Ford Performance Whipple-tuned F-150s from the factory with a factory warranty? Well, wouldn't you know it, they actually had one on that video and they drag raced it against a Mustang, a Camaro, and the truck. I thought the truck was going to smoke it. I thought the truck was going to smoke it easily. Guys, if you're going to buy one of these Ford Performance truck kits, get a tune ASAP. Get it off the Whipple tune tonight.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Go on, Camaro.
Here we go. Oh.
Dude, look, this is ridiculous. Every Mexican right now is throwing their taco al pastor at the freaking computer screen. Mira, que pinga. What the hell is happening with this truck? It's getting its ass beat. It's a 4-wheel drive Whipple truck. Don't those things run 10s? Not with a Whipple tune.
Go on, Camaro.
Oh, I've got him.
Oh, it's close.
That hooks up better than last gen.
He's edging ahead.
Oh my, that's a quick car.
And boom, the Mustang wins. Hey, Steve Schleckenberg, do you wonder why we drag race this Mustang? Because that's all it's good for. Every Steve Schleckenberg right now is like, you guys only care about straight line shit. It sucks in stock form in the turns. So we drag race it, stupid. And that wraps up my S650 opening monologue, letting you guys know that if you buy a stock S650, you want it to run a number, you might have to take 300 or 400 pounds out of it, similar to what they did to their car. In stock form, you're gonna run a 12.3, and you're gonna literally need to take weight out from either static or rotating to have it perform, because tuning is not available. Why don't we turn these cars? Even the guy says this car sucks turning. Not everyone can afford a dark horse. Not everyone can afford a Billy Badass turn car. If you want to get into a $55,000 premium GT 10R80 car, it better not be to turn. And in that video, he said the drift stick sucks so freaking bad. Now, let's get on to my favorite thing. A guy on Instagram sent me an article about Republican Congress members are now asking Ford to pony up the paperwork, the agreement they had with contemporary Amperex Technologies. The Republican lawmakers have been raising concerns about Ford's agreement with Cattle to license battery technology for use in the planned battery plant in Marshall in July. They asked for a copy of the licensing agreement between Ford and Cattle. All documents and all communications exchanged between the two companies, and all documents and communications between Ford and the Biden administration related to the agreement or federal tax credits. The lawmaker said Ford has provided a narrative response and didn't They said we've answered multiple congressional letters correcting misinformation about the Blue Oval Battery Pack Michigan and Ford efforts. Ford has said that it's paying Cattle for the right to use the proprietary technology and counsel in applying that technology. Basically, they might call Jim Farley to Capitol Hill to testify. Oh, could you imagine if you turn on the television and
take that, Elon Musk
is on Capitol Hill and Senator Jim Jordan is literally ragging him out? What, you had deals with with Cattle, who is tied to the communist regime in China, and you use taxpayer funds to prop up a Chinese oh my God. I can't wait. So now that you know that the car's race weight is 35 or so 100 pounds, which is literally 400 pounds lighter than a bone stock S650, would you, S650 owner, rah fan from the rooftop saying it's Billy Badass, do that to your car? Because that's what needs to happen to run that number. You can't take a stock car, show up with no tuning, and expect it to run what theirs run unless you did what they did to theirs. But on a S550 with tuning, tire, cold air, E85, it is a 10-second car. The S550 bone stock on pump gas, when I worked at VMP, went 11.8 in the quarter mile in drag mode, bone stock, 93 octane. So when people start saying S650 is better, I go, actually, it's not. It's not. You have to get it down to similar weight as S550 to have it perform in a similar fashion. Now, with tuning, let's say this car keeps making power to 8,000 RPMs. That will really change things. But if you're going to buy a brand new Mustang and gut it, put race brakes on it, no mufflers, long tubes, check engine lights for P0420, P0430, and what are you doing? You're basically building an S550 at that point. Do the same thing to an S550. I'm not saying price for price. Forget money. When you talk drag racing, money is not even an equation. I'm saying if you think that car ran 10s with minimal mods, you got something else as a rah fan S650 guy. Shout out to them for doing it. Shout out to them for pushing the platform. But at the end of the day, are you the customer going to take out 400 pounds from your car to run the number? Based on my experience, based on all the people I deal with, not just no, fuck no. Most people have one car, and it's that Mustang. And most people, even after they install a high-flowing exhaust, hate it. What you want to hear the concerns that I hear all the time? Alex, can you turn down the cold start? What do you mean? I installed Corsa Blow My Dicks. I installed Corsa Blow My Dicks, and the car starts like shit in the morning. And then you're like, well, why'd you buy the exhaust? Well, I thought I needed it. I thought I wanted the flow. I thought I wanted the sound. And it is impossible to live with. Well, now you put race brakes that aren't meant to be driven on a lot or stop well. Like, I would love people to take a set of TBM, Bear Brakes, any of those guys, and do a stopping test. Alex, that's not the point. Actually, it is the point. Because that's your last line of defense if shit goes bad. If you got a 3,800-pound car that's doing 160 in the quarter mile, let's say your parachute don't open, and then you slam on the brake because you wanted to save weight, that fucking motorcycle brake that you got in front of a fucking 3,800-pound car ain't doing shit but melting. I'd love someone to do a brake test to see, oh, look, this is what they do. They put it up on the jack stand and they turn it. And they go, look at that. These brakes are awesome. They keep spinning. How the fuck do they stop? They're brakes. How do they stop? My GT500 has 6-pot Willwoods. You think I'm going to put some fucking dirt bike brake shit on there? You smoking that. Get the fuck out of here. Again, badass shit. Good for them. Serge says, Justin Performance Center said they run 1094 at 124 all motor, but how much weight reduction did they do to also bragging about it? Call it. No. I don't. Look, this is not a anti-JPC post. This is a anti-nut hugger post. The nut hugger that think the S650 is the next Billy Badass thing needs to understand they're running that number because they've done a certain amount of mods. It's pure math. For the initiated, we go, that's math. Yeah, it's probably down 400 pounds. Like, we all thought that. We all go, it's probably really light. Yeah, we don't say, holy shit, no, we went, yeah, it's probably really light. Because we've done it. We're like, okay, no problem. SVT says, my problem with the S650 is I've had two very different S550s already. Been there, done that. S650 is no different, and it not enough different to me to have interest. My next Mustang will be a full build SN95 Cobra or another S197. Here. The S650, the reason they're able to transfer all these parts to from the S550 is the same car. Same drive shaft. Steeda put their whole stop the hop kit in it. Their bar, everything from their catalog went into this car. How is this car any different than S550 except a little bit heavier and not tunable from the factory? So if you have an S550 and you thought you were going to trade it in for your S650, what are you trading it for? Revving on a key fob, drift stick, or tablets on the dash? If neither of those three entice you, keep your Gen 3 or your Gen 2. There is no reason to buy an S650 unless you want revving on a key fob, tablets on the dash, and a drift stick. That's it. There's no point of buying an S650 for modding and racing when you can buy a New Edge Fox. No, I get it. That's a different argument, though. I understand what you're saying, though, 100%. D-Rock Fox says, maybe Whistling Diesel will. Alex, would you buy the same price mileage options 2012 Competition Orange Boss 302 or a 13 White Boss 302? 13 White Boss 302, 100%. But race car parts make it badass. Actually, true, but even this is my first Mustang, and since it's my daily work to home car, that's fine with me. I've seen 0 S650s on the road. I'd love to see how many sell, especially compared to the S550. I think the reason I am so adamant about this is people don't understand why I'm doing this. Guys, if I didn't care about the S650, why would I be yelling about it every day here? Meaning, I care about what Ford is putting out there. They're giving you a lesser product. They're giving you the same S550, different nose, different rear, same chassis, slightly heavier, drift stick, key fob rev, and a nicer, depending on how you like it, dash. If you don't care about any of those three things, what did they give you? What did they give you? They gave you they put the same pig, an S550 pig, and they went, some lipstick on your lips and go out there and, inflation and supply chain issues and 8% loans later, you got a $60,000 premium Mustang. That it's literally the same except for three little things that might not, is it worth the extra amount of money for the drift stick, tablets, and the revving on a key fob. And if it is, that car's for you. S650 looks like Camaro in person, looks better in pictures. It does. And Throttle House actually mentioned how it looks like a Camaro. Let's get to that part when they get out of the car and they literally look at the back and they go, "I'm sorry guys, this is a Camaro." Let me see. They get out of the car and they talk. Okay. Boom, right there. Okay, this part right here in Throttle House's video. Again, this is them talking about it, and I never even noticed what they were talking about until they said something, and I went, "Oh, you know, they kind of make sense."
Hey.
Do you see any similarities here? The way that.
Yeah, if you.
Yeah, right here. Again, the Mustang didn't have this, and maybe they did, but a lesser swoop.
Step back, it looks very much like they just took the panel from a Camaro and put it on a Mustang.
Yeah, I'm going to gloss over that, the way that Ford glossed over it with this.
Again, guys, you think I'm the only one talking shit on this car? The industry is talking shit on this car. It's not just Alex talking shit on this car. It's the industry. They see it. They're not falling in love with rawing and anything Coyote related, saying this is the best thing since sliced bread, making memes about this thing. We see what Ford gave us, and they gave us a pig with lipstick on. Drop those likes. Sorry, Pheasant says big guns. I can see why basic renting tenant is so worried about you tuning your own with Holly. I can see why this basic renting tenant in Palm Beach County. Remember, Joe, I live in the most lucrative county on the fucking planet. Remember that when you start talking shit. Go outside your house right now, open it up, and tell me where the fuck you are. And if it ends in Homa, Land, or Xus, sit down when you talk to me. I wouldn't run drag brakes on a full weight car unless I'm also running a chute. Saw my buddy's 150-mile-an-hour car with drag brakes, and they had tons of cracks after a few trips to the track. Yeah, they're not meant to be like daily on. They're just not. Just watched the Throttle House review on the S650 last year model. They shot on it. The Camaro did kind of copy the Mustang S197 rear panels. You're not wrong. So it's an S550 Camaro combined. Yes, they had sexuals. The good thing about the S650 is that all the Clout chasers that went from a Gen 2 to Gen 3 because of the 10R80 now have another bandwagon to jump on. I think you're going to see a lot of people buy this car because it's the next Clout car. A lot of people bought the new C8 Corvette for the Clout, and the moment they found out that they couldn't tune it or do anything, they ditched it. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Cletus buy a C8 and then get rid of it immediately after? Because he probably said, one, it's too nice. Two, it's not tunable. I can't get any content out of it. And maybe somebody offered him ridiculous amounts of money for the car because he got it new, or he got it, before a lot of people got it. Now you see them all over the place. You see them on used car lots, especially here. There's a place on A1A, or alternate A1A. And they have like 30 of them. Dude, I pulled a 14 Cameron, bro. He has almost 500 horsepower Fox body without nitrous. No. I rent. I like how people say rent. You own in Oklahoma, Kansas, Michigan, Detroit, fucking Washington, Louisiana, Georgia. Boy, shut up. It's a $210,000 house. Someone said, I also haven't seen any S650s on the street. Honestly, and I'm from the H, Houston, and I'd like to run one. I haven't seen, and I'm in somewhere where it's kind of well-to-do, this area. When there's a new Tesla out, they're everywhere. When there's a new Merc out, everyone's got it. When there's a new G-Wagon, everyone's got it. New Lambo, got it. Rolls Royce, Phantoms, I seen them. I don't see any S650s around here. I don't understand it. I'm getting cow touching the wall vibes from Joe. Don't worry about Biden's tax, right? Pocket watching motherfucker. Clout car equals clown car. I wonder if mid-engine Mustang would ever be available. Well, we got to put the pressure on them. So a lot of people that get mad at me for talking shit on the S650 Mustang, they just need an enemy. And they go, well, he don't know what he's talking about. And he lives in an apartment. His cow touches the wall, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, bro, I love you. I'm probably tuning your car. Some guy today, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to give anything away because then he'll know who I am. It's just 6, bought one S650, officially a Clout car. I respect you if you buy a car specifically for Clout. because you're not making any bones about it. You're like, you know what? I need new content. My GT350 no one cares about. My Gen 2 now is just this ridiculous Holly thing. And like the moment you go, understand this as a YouTuber car guy. The moment you go for a Holly, Fuel Tech, anything, you lose 90% of your audience. You maybe gain the Holly guys and stuff like that, but you lose 90% of your audience because 90% of your audience can't relate. They just can't relate. They need to be able to have relatable content, especially when it comes to car stuff. I'm a little weird about the GT500 because it's not relatable, but the Fox body is very relatable. There aren't any S650s in Waco, Texas yet. Haven't seen one on the street yet. Haven't seen an S650. He lame as fuck for that comment. Great Mustang says, every S650 I've seen race on IG lost the race. Now, this is why I tell people that Ford does not pay attention to the street, what's happening on the street. They unfortunately are in a bubble, and that bubble unfortunately then becomes an echo chamber. What do you think about that? That looks good. That looks good. Make the rear end like this. Put a drift stick. Nobody cares about drifting. I don't know why the hell Ford thought it was a good idea to put in a drift stick and even gayer revving on a key fob. Like, you catered to ricers, and Mustang guys, I thought, hated ricers. Believe it or not, a lot of them are starting to become, or the Mustang is attracting the ricer. If you bought a Mustang and you put a flame kit on it, you're absolutely eating hot dogs with your asshole, like nonstop. So I go, okay, I can't identify with this guy. Like, I don't understand why you would want to see flames coming out of a car that didn't have a two-step or wasn't, hitting a rev limiter. They want to just hit a flame kit a la 1970 something when they had flame kits on old, Impalas. So I can't identify with them. So slowly Ford started saying, we're going to shy away from the Gen Xers that have money to spend on this car and race it. And we're going to cater towards a younger audience that has no money. I'm blown away by that. It's just a 6, more like it's just a 3. Those that held on to their Roush Gen 2s or any Gen 2 or bought Gen 3s for a good price are looking real good since the S650 came out. Now, you guys have started seeing people talk about tuning. They've started showing you an HP Tuners template. Guys, understand this. That's indexing. It's in the indexing stage. The 21 F-150 in 2020, late 2020, they introduced the 21 F-150. They already were indexing stuff. Now they have to figure out how to flash it, how to checksum, how to be able to load a tune over the factory tune or disable the factory encryption to be able to flash a tune onto it. That's the difficult stuff. That's where the big money comes in. It's one thing to get an A2L in the mail or drops off for someone and you index the file. There it is. There's a math curve, this and that. And now, because there are files that are indexed, you see that the difference between a tune of a Dark Horse and a GT is the shift schedule, the rev limiter, and some transmission stuff. Meaning, Ford did not make any huge tuning improvements over the GT on the Dark Horse. What you're buying the Dark Horse for is the look, the trim package, the wheels, the interior, the paint. You're buying a GT that is super duper premium. You know what I mean? So it's over and above a fully loaded GT. I don't think it's that impressive. Hennessy did a roll race. In a roll race, the GT was neck and neck with a Dark Horse all the way here. Alex calls his landlord daddy when he's late on the rent. Never late on the rent. Actually, your comment probably just paid for a little bit of my rent because of the engagement and the click impressions. So appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Sup, Alex? What's up, Alex Franco? I got a Gen 2 PP, hey-yo, with 8,000 miles for $30,000 pre-pandemic, or $29,999, $27,999, Recaros and all. How y'all know so much? How y'all know how much timing turned up the motor from a scanned tune? I don't know what the fuck you just said, brother. Englishtown turned a drag strip into a drift course and 5 years later begged to bring the drag strip back because no one goes to drift events. Right. Who goes to drift events? Herpes-filled Gen Z. And they got no money. Like, Gen Z goes to a drift event and tries to get the free shirts at every tent. or the free knickknacks and the free koozies. They don't go there and pay-treat the place and buy and really support. And no, they don't do that. They see what they can take and they just smoke weed and fucking chapstick up their herps while the cars are out there blowing smoke up everyone's ass. Stupid shit. It's funny how I see anybody talking smack about the S650 on YouTube, and I know they watch Alex. And so do the YouTube influencers now. Every YouTube influencer gets their talking point in a negative fashion for anything from this channel. They regurgitate. They literally say the same shit I say. I don't mind that. Hey, if you got to get your information from anywhere, why not get it from a guy that tunes them for a living, knows how they work, understands the trend, and by far has more access to Mustang customers than anybody, any other tuning company, period. I work for Lund. I see the ticket system. I see the trends. I see the orders. I see the complaints. I see the common issues people are experiencing. Would you take my word as, educated mouthpiece of the industry, or do you just think I'm just talking shit because I got nothing else to do? Get the fuck out of here. 2 models, 1 emissions test, exactly. If you want to get rid of Joe, no, we're good. Look, Joe is obviously mad. Look, he's watching me. He's watching. He goes, how's Alex so buff at 45? Man, maybe I can make fun of the fact that he lives in an apartment. Oh, wait, he's got an 1100 horsepower GT500? He got a 700 horsepower GR1? Shit, he's got a 500 horsepower Fox body? You call your daddy every time you can't pay rent to the landlord. Cool. If that makes you feel better, I'll say here and take it. It's all good. I wonder why you don't see hardly any Celine Mustangs. I think I've only seen 1. Even my mom, who has owned 2 Mustangs, said they're ugly. Okay, I don't think they're ugly. You understand? I just don't think they appeal to everybody. Like the S, I thought it was funny that the GT500 came out and it had Gen 2 lights. And I went, why did Ford put a Gen 2 front end on the 2020 GT500? They basically didn't even change. And then the 18 Mustang, 2 years older, looked more modern. And I thought that's weird. So it was an odd change of pace. But this car is an S550. This car, the S650 is literally an S550 with a different nose and different back. Everything else the same except tablets on the dash. And the tuning. So people that loved the S550 and fell in love with its lines and its 2 variants, the Gen 2 and the Gen 3, and saw similarities and a progression towards something, then they just stuff an Accord front end in it and a Camaro back end, and you go, I don't like it. Like, I just don't like it. Do I think it's ugly? No. Do I think it's in line with the previous models in terms of evolution? No. I just think they just had a huge departure, stuffed a different nose in it that doesn't even mimic anything. Like, it doesn't even follow a trend of previous Mustangs. It's just odd. But again, dropped, wheels, it's going to look good. Everything looks good dropped with a set of good wheels. Daddy's money. Alex be like, I'm daddy. Right. Literally, I'm daddy. Hey, Alex, how big of a nitro shot can I run on a Gen 2 Coyote running 91, no 93 near me? Do not do more than 125 shot. I love you. And if you can, get octane booster. I would rather, because I'm going to have to stick 20 degrees of timing in it. And that's the other thing, right? The JPC car that went 10.2 on 100 shot, if they were data logging, it probably saw 25 or 26 degrees of timing. That's kind of high on 93. Now, I'm hoping they use Q16, C16, C10, a high octane 14.7 or 14.0 stoic fuel. Then 27 degrees, who gives a shit at 100 shot? Not a problem. What's Rafa saying? Rafa says something and da. So Rafa says, I'm in agreement with Alex. I'm just saying he's got reach out there with all his info and his opinions on the channel. So what did FJG say before? I'm trying to get that conversation. It looks like I missed it. I apologize if I can't go back and look at it. It just zings by. If you do a super chat, that changes everything. I can actually see it. Because they postponed the release of the GT500. Honestly, I think they built it off of like whatever they were doing for GT350s, they just did for GT500. They just said, Okay, GT350 looks like a Gen 2 Mustang. Even the 2020 version. Let's just do the same thing and follow the lineage of Shelby. They went from Shelby 350, that nose, to Shelby GT500, that nose. And kept the GT with a more modern nose. And I was like, this is odd. And then all of a sudden, they just change it up totally. And people are little, ones and zeros about it. They're binary. They're like, either you love it or you hate it. There's no, it's okay. I'm glad they didn't use the Gen 3 headlights on the new GT500 for 18 plus GT350s. The Gen 2 front ends look way more aggressive. I agree. I do like the Gen 3 front end. I really liked my 19 Mustang. My 19 Mustang was a really nice car. I liked it very much, but I didn't do any mod. That's why I didn't do any visual mods to the car except lowering with wheels because I thought it looked really good. Do you think engine-wise there's any sort of potential to be a powerhouse with the S650? No. I've already seen the Gen 4 Coyote blow up. Not in the Mustang. You know what I mean? I think people say it has supposedly, what was it saying? People are saying that it supposedly has GT500 rods. Unless I see one, I can't say anything. Said someone paid you $10 and it didn't get an answer. Oh, boo-hoo. Oh my God. You're not owed an answer. I'm saying it's easier to see. Hat says, hey Alex, do you know any fuel pump bucket that would you approve? Like going to road courses, stock. Like, what are you doing? Are you doing a 4 Innovations fuel system? And then, like, VMP has a bucket, but I don't trust it. I just don't trust it. VMP has a return style fuel system, and they have a factory style bucket. I just don't trust it. That's all. Sorry. They're not paying me, so screw it. Thank you, Alex Franco. Elver. I'll never argue against cars' looks. Everyone bitched about the Gen 2 and the Gen 3. Now everyone loves them. The issue is and always will be performance. See, between 14 and 15, I understood why people were pissed off. It changed everything. Now, I'm blown away that shops and parts houses say, it happens to every new generation. People are going to say it sucks. It happens in every generation. You're going to say it's better than the previous. We see right through what they're supposed to do. Jesus Christ, Omar. AED said he gave me 100 AEDs. I don't know what that means. Is that 100 tuned? Hey, Alex, have you tried the Camaro 1LE before? No, I've never driven a 1LE performance package style Camaro ever. I would love to, but where am I going to drive it? I need it on a road course to put it up against something. Anyway, every parts house, every new generation says it's awesome. And then they get mad when people say, well, I want to wait until tuning comes out, or I want to wait until this and this and that before I make up my mind. Like, how many parts houses said the 2010 GT was way better than the 2009 based on the styling? Meanwhile, it was a piece of shit. I wish I could go back and look at old articles of people saying 2010 Mustang has really dropped the hammer on the competition. And it's a complete piece of shit. So, you guys make fun of the fact that everyone says the new generation sucks. I make fun of the fact that you, without even knowing, say it's better. And then when people prove to you that it's not better, you fight back. Stop it. Alex, do you get many people wanting tunes for methanol through the ticket system? No. You mean like meth injection, but not straight methanol? No. That's crazy. Like, you need a Billy Badass fuel system to run something like a mixture of M1. Like a Billy Badass. Yeah, what's 100 AEDs? What's AED? Let me see. AED, what do you call it? Currency. $0.27. So how many? 100 AEDs is how many? 100 AED currency is $27. Thank you so much for the $27, which is 100 AEDs. I bet 100 out of 100 would have the old floaters. Alex's favorite Camaro is 04 to 09. Hey, Alex, I sent you a video of the S550 versus Dark Horse, and the Dark Horse is getting walked. Stop it. Where? Instagram? Again? Instagram? Let me see. Let's see. I don't doubt it. John Lunn is in there. General Ryan. Is it Ryan? No, I don't have. If it's not on Instagram, fuck it. Sorry, buddy. Se acabó el party. Who is this? Someone's hitting me up. I don't know who that is. 1450 was a polarizing change. 2224, small accident and some disappointment. My FBO E85 tuned by Lund got beat by a stock 22 gutted rolling from a 50. Well, there you go. Lund sucks, apparently. I wonder what would be more efficient. The older GT500 style supercharged throttle body on the new style GT500 with the single blade throttle body would air. Well, okay, the old GT500 was a 2.3. The new GT500 is a 2.6. It's not a good comparison. The Dark Horse is in IMSA is going to race only Dark Horse class. This Ford is scared to race in real competition. Stack says, so Alex, you're telling me if the performance was there, stock, and it's tunable, would you at least think about getting one? No. I told you guys I quit Ford. Don't you remember? I told you guys I quit Ford when Gen 3 was the thing. I sold my Gen 3 Mustang. I am against what Ford is doing in principle. I'm against the built Ford proud stuff. I'm against the fact that they're pushing Mustang into EV stuff. I'm against the fact that they're pushing a lot of the electric stuff with cattle and China. I don't support Ford. So you guys got to stop thinking that I'm a Mustang fanboy. I actually look at what the company is doing as a whole and go, do I want to give my money to a company that's doing everything I despise? The wokeness, the silliness, the lightning rollout, the Mach-E Mustang rollout, and then this new Mustang, I go, this Mustang was designed by someone that isn't a car person. She named her dog Shelby. That's all you need to fucking know about this Mustang. The designer named her fucking dog Shelby. Okay? And then it was built during COVID. You see the supply chain issues. I don't care if it was tunable. Lund Racing is going to have to get one to tune it when it becomes tunable. And then we do what we do. But Alejandro Flores doesn't have to get one. Fuck no. I told you guys, I quit buying new Fords. I'm done. I'm a Coyote guy. I'll stick a Coyote in anything. Like LS guys. LS guys are LS guys. I'm a Coyote guy. I love the Coyote motor. I think it's great. I'll stick it in anything. I will never buy a new Ford product. The only one hitting you up on IG is probably me. There's like 50 people. It's ridiculous. Dio, would you buy a Ruby Red 19350 or 14,000 miles for 68K? Yeah, probably not. 14,000 miles for 68K? Probably not. I support Ford today, but just like I support my gay brother, I'm disappointed. Right. You could look at Ford and go, boy, you used to be somebody. Remember back in 2011 through 2023, you were a badass. Badass. Now, you're woke. You got a drift stick. Like, what gimmicky things were in a 15 Mustang that you despised? Go. What gimmicky things were in an 18 Mustang you despised? Go. Nothing. Gimmicky. Drift stick, tablets on the dash, revving on a key fob. That tells you everything you need to know, bro. Like, we don't look at it as we hate it because it's new. We hate it because it's stupid. That's all. When Lund gets one, when will they break the engine down? We don't do engine breakdowns. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we're not one of these people that have to take apart a motor and tell you what's in it because it's gonna look like a rod. It's gonna look like a piston. You guys are gonna go, oh, it's a motor. Put on the dyno, see what it does on 93, see what it tolerates. Put E85 in it, long tubes, probably keep it full weight and see what we can run. And then see, okay, how much, because this is 80% of our customers. Tune, cold air, long tubes, full weight. So, what would you rather do if tuning's available? Take 400 plus pounds out of your car, put race brakes in it, long tubes with no mufflers, and run a 10.8? Or buy a supercharger when tuning's available with a fuel system for about the same money and at full weight, run a 10.3, 10.2. It's the same thing I said about Gen 3. Gen 3 NA was so gay and it was tunable. And I said, this is the gayest shit because the bang for the buck is gone. But I want to be different. I'm not a sheep. No, you're stupid. Because you're just throwing money down the drain because people are going faster than you, more comfortable than you, for less than what you spent. How gay would it be to beat EcoBoost S650? None of the new shit matters anyway. No dealers will be receiving new cars for a while. Bro, could you imagine if you're... Okay. Because of the strike, and if the UAW strike is going to get expanded, I don't want any new car coming from the UAW. Because they're going to be salty as shit. Do you think the UAW, the workers on the assembly line, are going to be happy to be back to work? Or do you think they're going to be a little salty about Ford keeping them out of work for a little while, negotiating bullshit? They probably have to agree to something lesser than what they were wanting, begrudgingly. And then they're going to slam on that harness. They're going to ugga-dugga the lug nuts to 300 foot-pounds. They're going to leave the clamps hanging. They're going to roll out junk-ass Mustangs, even more junk-ass Mustang than they have now. I can't wait to see what the UAW assembly line workers start to build after they go back to work. Sheesh. Fuck all that. I'm good. Stang Mo just sold his 2018. He has to pay for his new shit. Again, I told you guys that the Ford influencers that are tied to Ford are screwed. They're screwed. They have to move to a different platform or actually teach people about other shit. Most influencers don't know shit about cars. They know what people tell them. They know what tuners tell them. They know what Ford tells them. But the guys that know shit, they can apply that knowledge to any platform. I'd love to get a rotary Starlet. I'd love to get a Grand National. I'd love to get old school shit that runs a good number. If this notch runs a 10, 9, 10, 8, NA, I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to be impressed. Has it been done before? Absolutely. But the people that watch my shit, the younger audience, doesn't know shit about that. The older guys do, but guys that are 25 and under go, wait a minute, that carbureted piece of junk goes 10.8 stick? Yeah, we'll see. Lincoln Block Jesus. My dealer just got 27 new trucks dropped yesterday. Our parts department ordered 250,000 in parts in prep for the strike. That's officially hit Ford tomorrow hard. Ford is the only one so far working with the UAW, last I knew. It's hard to imagine quality control can get much worse. It's going to be, I'll never buy a new Ford. Now I'm on focusing on doing Coyote swaps. Smart man, Travis. Are y'all still going to buy them? Lund is going to buy whatever new Ford product is out. Lund bought a 21 F-150, tuned it, dialed it in. Nobody's buying 21 F-150s. Do you understand? The 18 to 20 F-150 was so awesome because you can simply flash them. The 21 and up, you got to take the PCM out, ship it to somebody. 1 week later, it comes back. Then you can tune it. That alone stops people from buying that truck. So it's 2023. The 21 and 22 F-150 are out there. The volume is so low that our purchase for the 21 F-150 doesn't look like it's going to pan out for years. So what do? We trade it in for a Mustang. We'll see if there's a good deal on a Mustang out there. 10R80, of course, because we got to get into the tuning aspect of the 10R80 when tuning comes out. And we'll be on our hub dyno, hammering away calibrations, trying different things, different fuels, different blending, different cold air. We're going to try it all because we're tuners. So we're just going to sit back and watch everybody else gut their cars and run a 10.8 NA and 10.1 with nitrous and go, good for them. Because that's not our market. So let's say you're a shop. Right, let's say you're a shop and you buy a new Mustang, S650, and you do that to it. What's the purpose? I worked at a shop. We didn't do anything unless we planned to sell that package. So let's say you are a shop and you want to go as fast as possible with the S650. And it cost you about 15 grand to get it there. Converter, drive shaft, headers, tuning, brakes, suspension, and some weight reduction. 15 grand. No labor because it's your car. Awesome. Look at that. We're offering an NA package. So, does that mean you're offering an NA package to a customer at $15,000? Like, is that where we're at? Or do you say, we can't sell this package. We just want to show people what we can do with this platform. Sounds like a bad investment to me if you're not going to make money on those efforts. So we sit back and wait for tuning. Maynard and Velocity buying 21 F-150s. Yeah, we've tuned turbo F-150s, supercharged F-150s, 21 and up. We've done it all, but the volume is really low. Tell me why I don't see S197.50 anymore compared to the S550 because I don't know where you live. Allen in Palm Beach County, I see GT500s, Boss 302s, California Special, S197s all over the place. I don't know where you live. Companies would rather pay a union to be involved in millions of dollars instead of paying their employees a deal. Shut the fuck up, Justin. To live. Justin, what does an average UAW worker make? I'll look it up. There's a bunch of different ones. Okay, I got it. What is an average salary for a UAW worker that's been there, 5 years? Living wage. And tell me how hard their job is. Their job is not any harder than flipping burgers somewhere. Their job is not any harder than any server. Their job is not any harder than any bartender. Their job is not any harder. Actually, teachers have a harder job. Firemen have a harder job. Most millwrights have a harder job, and they out-earn them. Please shut up with corporate greed. Please shut up with the narrative that the UAW president tells you. They are getting severely overpaid. Their skill level is 0.0. A 17-year-old kid right out of high school can do a UAW worker's job that's been there 20 years in about 2 weeks training. Go outside, look at any 17-year-old kid with a broccoli haircut. Come on in, buddy. Put on this exoskeleton suit. You're going to put this trim here like this for a couple hours, then you get a break. Then you come back, put on the exoskeleton suit again, do it again. Then you could take a smoke break if you want. And then if you want to work a little bit, if your back hurts, stop, go to the nurse. Is this the best job ever? How much am I getting paid? Holy shit, $1,700 a week? Holy crap, $2,000 a week? Stop it with the narrative corporate greed. They're greedy, but y'all getting that money too. Shut up. You have an easy job and still screw it up. I need an exoskeleton to put tape on a door seal. Well, lung to my full bolt on 18 F-150 on the 85 for a 100 shot. Yes, absolutely. Of course, we do that shit all the time. I think I did 2 today. A full bolt on F-150 on the 85 with a 100 shot? Yes. NGK 6510s, gap them at 30,000, about 23 degrees, run it at about 0.81 lambda, bitch rolls out. And then the control is up to you. Well, it's not harder than flipping burgers. There's a lot more liability. Oh, okay. So if you drop a door, you're it's flipping burgers. I think there's more of a liability of poisoning someone's food than dropping a door on your foot. UAW bosses will go home to their country club for steak and lobster while their boys are fighting for a living wage. Gavin Newsom passed a bill in California for fast food workers to earn $20 an hour. The job is not hard at all for us tradespeople. The woke idiots and family members that hired now can't do anything right. It's a joke. I need restrictions for screwing a door panel. I bet Turvey has a harder job than a UAW guy. I bet you right now, Turvey is busting his ass 3 times harder than any UAW assembly line worker ever did. And again, if you're an assembly line worker at the UAW, I'm not against you. I'm against your union boss who wants to overpay you for shit that a 17-year-old kid with 2 weeks of training can do. Stop it. And tell me that they can't. Tell me that a 17-year-old kid coming in there with 2 weeks of training can't do your job. I bet Turvey works hard. Okay, at work, we're dropping a like. Thank you. Justin says, I did third-party audit inspections in the parking lot on Hurricane Motor and could not believe how many people were standing around doing nothing. Impossible, Justin. Is this Justin Dugan from American Muslim? Impossible that they were just standing around and collecting a paycheck and complaining about corporate greed. Laughing my ass off, broccoli haircut literally made me spit out my drink. I didn't notice it until I started seeing gym memes about high school kids taking up the bench for an hour. And some guy put a meme of putting broccoli on their head. And I'm like, is that like a thing? And I go to the gym at 5 in the morning, right? And there's adults there. There's nurses, there's bitter old men, and legit serious bodybuilders are there super early. Depressed dudes that just got dumped. But at 5 o'clock, it's high school people, college people, hot chicks, 20-year-olds, and kids with broccoli haircuts. I couldn't believe it. $80,000 and they can't even put cars together properly. Let's be honest. If UAW worker dropped the door, they would pick it up and still install it because it's not my job. Hey, Larry, you dropped that door. Not my job to report it. Let QC handle that shit. Bzz, 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 bzz. Hey, this door has a big dent in it. Ship it. I bet Turvey Weld's better than UAW workers without their exoskeleton. Average UAW worker hired before '07 is 33 an hour. Hired after, 17 an hour. That's according to online. Not sure if it's right, though. Yeah, it sounds really weird. Turvey is the best hash brown cook this side of the Mississippi. That's why your gap is bad at 17-year-old kid who doesn't care. That's why your gap is bad. That 17-year-old kid doesn't care. Alex, what do you think about the new 6.8-liter Mustang? That dude and his wife in the Bananas 8 is hilarious. I blame Patrick Mahomes for broccoli heads. Yeah, there's a bunch of dudes with that style of haircut. It's crazy. I've been here 17 years. They're paying for my loyalty. Bitch, you're replaceable as fuck. And loyalty doesn't mean anything in the corporate world. I agree. 100%. Gerardo Lucatero says, hi, Alex. Doing a Gen 2 Coyote swap on my Fox with a T56. 373s are good for that swap. Okay, so does your T56 have a 266 first gear, and how heavy is your Fox? I think you'll be okay with 373s. It's a little long, but like I prefer 410s in that setup. If it's a 266 first gear. That's hilarious. I'm going to call it the broccoli fade. Like I was doing, pull downs, and I see this kid going like this. And I see it from the corner of my eye, and I'm like, and they because of the broccoli style haircut drips over their eyes a little bit. So when you look around the gym, all these guys are shaking their head. They're going like this because they're trying to fling the hair away from their eyes. How about cut it like a 1950s army dude, like a man? Michigan minimum wage is $10.10 an hour. UAW guys make 18 starting and up to 32. I don't know what prevailing wage is in Michigan, but it should be damn close to that. That wage gap actually sounds pretty close. Can confirm in California, minimum wage for fast food workers is $20 an hour. Saludos desde Puerto Rico, says Mustang Rico. UAW workers' backs are hurting from holding up those signs without their exoskeletons. I'm telling you, again, I don't want to harp on that too much because I think the issue is the union leadership. The union leadership saw the Teamsters get UPS workers a big raise. Then the train strike. Remember the train union motherfuckers? They resolved their shit. So they got paid. The UPS union, the Teamsters, got paid. So now the UAW is like, it's our turn to get paid. And they're like, corporate greed, millionaires and billionaires, profits. How many times have you heard me talk on this show? The losses Ford took based on their EV stuff. And think about it this way. The reason Ford is losing money is because the administration is making them go to EVs. And the UAW strikes because Ford has to make money and cuts to be able to make money because the administration is forcing them into EV stuff. Then Joe Biden shows up to the picket line and goes, oh, shit my pants. And the UAW is like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, that's the guy that's causing the issues at Ford. He's making them go EV, forcing them to do stupid shit to make a profit. Don't you fucking get it? No. The UAW bosses have entrenched in the heads of these UAW guys that the millionaires up top are the problem. Boy. We were talking radiographs because the motors had random hardware in the cylinders. You mean like a valve? It was cracked and disgruntled worker and cost them, it was tracked down to a disgruntled worker and cost them millions of dollars to have everything inspected and fixed. Justin, you're telling me a UAW assembly line worker purposely threw shit in an engine just to fucks with Stellantis? Whoa. If I tried to grow my hair like that, my dad would have beat my ass so bad, I'd still be a vegetable. All these unions inspired the sheriffs around me to seek to improve their collective bargaining position. Meanwhile, we're being flooded with immigrants. Edgar, broccoli haircut. They are still negotiating, but they aren't allowed to strike until the administration stepped in. So I'm guessing the Corvette and the Mustang is going to be the only competition until it tries EV. Correct. You do realize Henry Ford was pretty much Henry Ford in 1930. 1930. This motherfucker's bringing shit up from 100 years ago. Did you know Volkswagen was started by the Nazis? You don't see people tripping on an R8, do you? You don't see people tripping on the Lambo, do you? You don't see people tripping on anything Audi, do you? Fuck out of here. Trump pulling up to talk to UAW workers yesterday while the Republican debate was happening was a big brain play. That 20 an hour was a scam. There's going to be no full-time employees anymore. More hours equals less hours. More an hour equals less hours. The reason for the big wage gap is the union companies are allowed to keep the temporary part-time people on a short schedule for like 5 years or so. Wow. Theo Alex always spitting knowledge. Cali is about to have their first fully automated McDonald's. Pay one dude $500,000 a year to maintain and repair the robots. But again, somebody's making the burgers. Somebody's frying the fries. Somebody's putting the pickles or not the cheese on the burger. So there are people in the back cooking, but there's nobody serving. Thoughts on packed valve springs to avoid valve float on Gen 1 with single turbo. Why not make the turbo flow better? Why not make it a T6 instead of a T4? Why not run the exhaust a certain way? Because if you have valve float issues, okay, you could have weak valves or you could have severe back pressure issues based on the single turbo kit. A lot of the people band-aid it and put packed valve springs in it. That's understandable. Just got home from my job, 12 to 8:30, gonna work. We start at 2 a.m. Good for you. Part strike at TM, buckle up. That's going to be my GM. That's what GM told me for Ford. And we love that races. Not sure if you're still my calibrator, but sheesh, that 95 millimeter hits hard. Thanks for reviewing my logs. Whoever helped me, yes, that was me. If you've been with me, you stay with me. Brandon had a baby recently. Congratulations. He pooped it out himself. He's probably breastfeeding it right now. So Brandon is out for a little bit. So if you're being tuned this week, it's going to be Dakota, Junior, or me. Any Black Betty says, no, they have fully automated ones now. Not just here yet. Pretty sure it was China. $20 an hour means more self-checkout machines. If I had $1 for every time I heard Henry Ford was mentioned in Mein Kampf, I would buy a 2024 F450. Mein Kampf. Sheldon Ray. 7.3 gas in a Ford. A couple of weeks ago, we installed in a customer's truck. A few weeks later, he came back for his first oil change. While draining the oil, we found 3 bolts left in the oil pan. Yikes. Is that your fault, though? Oh, from Ford. Wait a minute. You're saying you installed a Crate 7.3 Godzilla, didn't take the oil pan out, put it in the customer's car. When he came back for an oil change, there were bolts in the pan? Wow, thanks UAW is right. But is he producing any milk? Brandon, do I have that? Do I have that? Stunner, Hellcats, do I have baby milk? Baby crying. Oh, dude, I don't have baby milk? Dude, if I don't have baby milk, I'm going to be mad at myself. Danger zone, get the fuck out, heavy duty, we suck. Here we go.
The baby has been able to latch.
That's Brandon.
But I've not been able to produce any milk. It's okay.
It's okay, Brandon. The baby will latch.
Baby has been able
and
to latch,
you'll produce milk.
but
Just will it
I've not
to
been able
happen.
to produce any milk. It's okay.
Alex, did you know Henry Ford's dad knocked up Henry Ford Jr.'s mom? Oh, can we get a Henry Ford Mustang edition? Yes, Crate 7.3 comes from the factory with the oil pan installed. Gerardo says he has the 266 first gear. I would say 410s is better in my opinion, but if the car's really light, 373s with good power should be okay. Drop the bolts. That's not my job. Pull them out. That's not my job. Hey, Larry, you dropped the bolts in the valley. My job, my exoskeleton is only configured to go left, right. This engine is now 45 degrees further to my right from my exoskeleton stop. I can't touch it. Oh, you dropped the bolts. Sorry. Exoskeleton only goes so far. Clown show over there, bro. Clown show. Local dealer wants $86,000 for a dark horse, $20,000 markup. Come on, stop it. Off topic. I know you're not an ESS representative, but do you know if the G3R is the G3HO renamed, or are they 2 different products? I don't know, Gray Mustang. Once I sold the white car, vaya con Dios, I don't know. Maybe somebody like Valley 10-speed, but I think Valley 10-speed has had some static with them because I think there's not communication or something like that. So Valley 10-speed, ask them, and if he's like, I don't know, then if he doesn't know, I don't know. Alex, we have 23, 24 Super Duties chunking rods. Diesels are also fucked from Ford as well. King Daddy Fox, can you send me a link? I am not up on game with Diesel. I'm up on game with Godzilla and Coyote. I am not up on game with Diesel. If you can get me up on game, I'll talk about it. Nothing says quality than replacing the 7.3 as so soon as it debuted and finding bolt in the new motor. Remember everyone making fun of me on my video saying, you're wrong. This 7.3 is La Luz. This is going to be the next big thing. Fox Body guys came out of their cave. Oh, fuck. Fuck, George, did you see they have push rods back? We're back, Mortimer. And then lifter issues, replacing motors after 40,000 miles, just junk. And I told you from the get-go, this isn't a 7.3 Billy Badass race motor. But people always gonna... Okay, if you're used to nothing but good news coming across your news feed, sorry to tell you, reality is gonna smack you in the face really soon. Every single time you thought you were up on game by listening to the people that are paid to push a narrative by Ford, and then the only independent guy out there, the only one that's actually giving you the truth based on what I see, what I report, what is sent to me, and then you guys hate on me for giving you honest reporting. Fucking mind blown about that one. Thank you, King Daddy Fox. Hit me up there. You watching Canelo versus Charlo? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't want to pay $80 for it. I paid $80 for Spence Crawford. It wasn't really worth it. It's a 90 Mustang hatch, full interior. Okay. Shit, I put 410s in it, honestly. What, nobody liked the Alcantara and leather seat package? Mormon Mustang. From my union wages that I didn't sweat for. That's very good, very good. Let me say a real quick shout out to my Patreon members here, because I want to give you guys a shout out, because the people that are supporting me over there, I want to make sure I give them a mention. Again, guys, I'm on the Patreon link is up there. If you want to just switch your membership from YouTube to that, you can, or not. It doesn't matter, but I want to back up. So we got 508 Josh, Zach Boyd, Hatch 450X, Tyler Frengie Payne, Austin Maynard, Aggressively Average, Xavier, Frankosaurus Patrick, Slow 99, Bryson with Carlos, and Mandip Singh are the Patreon members I want to say thank you to. You all joined yesterday after I put the link up. Thank you guys very much. Pretty sure Valley 10th P went 3, 6130 went ESSG4. I don't think so. I think it went low 4s. Neither has my other family members. 22, 23 F-150s, all been great compared to Cummins junk. Senior has a 20 F-150 and a 20 F-350 or a 19 F-350 and a 22 or 21 F-450. Zero issues. It's been a really, really, really good truck to him. You paid because you're a low-skilled renter. Oh, shit. 458 watching, 250 likes. Do better. Again, guys, I'll ask you guys to hit the like button. I know Joe did because he's in his single wide. Tell me where you're at. You're doing so much better than me. Prove to me you're doing better than me. Tell me where you're living, how much you're making, and prove it. You're the one talking the shit. Will we get members-only videos on Patreon? Yes. Look. Patreon is 100% exclusive, meaning I will not take a video from here and post it on Patreon. Patreon is exclusive to Patreon members. I have the VMP track attack story up on Patreon. It's there. It's like a 9-minute video explaining what happened with VMP track attack's car. Only on the Patreon channel. I'm going to talk about what happened with the first go at Lund, how I got let go, the circumstances in detail on Patreon. Then I'll do, car builds and stuff on Patreon only. Here you'll get the same videos, same live streams, same weekly videos, ZR1 Fox Body stuff, but a little more detailed stuff going on the Patreon because it is a smaller amount of people that are paying a higher nut to get exclusive content. I don't think we can get badges, to be honest with you, Nat Jew. So if you're worried about the badges, stay here. No sweat off my back. But if you want to switch it over to the Patreon, that's cool. If there's a plug-in, if I can find some kind of plug-in that shows the Patreon members on the YouTube Live, I'll figure out how to do that. Just John, but did you see the Palm Beach Dyno has tune file? He doesn't have tune files. They're just indexed. I already talked about it. Nobody has tune files. It's indexing. Indexing, indexing, indexing. Can't flash the car. You gotta, nothing matters until you flash the car. They pulled the guy who indexes shit to do like Yamaha fucking side-by-sides. I'm actually gonna order a 450 HO. It's gonna replace the 3500 Rams that have been through 4 transmissions. All those Patreon videos are renewed. No, they're not. How do we join the Patreon? Look at the link that is pinned on my chat. G3R93 is a 4-inch inlet. Okay, I don't care. 158,000 miles in this. 158,000 so far this year and still broke. Don't get married, don't have kids, rent an apartment, and buy cars. Thank you. I don't have kids. I'm not married. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have any of that shit. Guess where my money is? In the fucking bank and in the cars. You can prioritize a house all you want and stunt that you got a house. I can't wait till you got to pay your insurance bill. Not gonna lie, probably gonna drop this for the Patreon. All good, Tyler Phelps. Cat pics on Patreon? No. No. Checking it late. What color is Joe's ZR1? What color is your ZR1, Joe? What color is your 1100 horsepower GT500, Joe? What color is your Bugatti? I have 382,000 miles on my 19 F450 limited. There you go. Nardi, Mercado, Palm Beach for the new files. Better check those lines. Gonna say Lund somewhere. Stop it, Nardi. Still waiting, Joe. Says Omar gave me 250 AEDs. Like $50, I think. Can't wait to see Alex slinging the bitcho on Patreon. The move. I'll show you the move on Patreon. No, guys, Patreon is not OnlyFans. Patreon is somewhere where you can support me outside of the YouTube mechanism, because YouTube keeps some of the money. Every time you send me a super chat, YouTube takes 30%. So on Patreon, I keep most of it, and I can do live streams on Patreon, and I can upload videos on Patreon, and I will start doing that and schedule it and let you guys know. So if I get about 100 guys following, I will for sure do live streams like right after this. Like we could do a Patreon only live stream after this live stream. I'll just turn it on and hit live stream and work for another hour. I don't care. We have 172,000 in trucks that we rent. Damn. On Patreon, I'm going to find out if it's pink. Hey, yo, Alex, I can't click the link that's pinned. Copy paste it, please. Okay, look. Let me see. Link copied. Okay, link is copied, and I'm just going to post it on the chat, and maybe you can grab it from the chat. There you go. I can't do anything else. It does. I have no other way of doing it. Boyd says, hello, Alex from Australia. Sucking on that coffee with the Tam Tams. Gotta love it. OnlyFans is only Alex Calf Muscles. With a 6R80 fit, the 5.2 Illuminator. Yeah. Yep. A 5.2, yeah, boom. You could get a 5.2 Illuminator, GT350 heads. Ooh, okay, Gen 2 heads. Let's not confuse you. And stick a 6R80 with a Gen 2 control pack, and it'll tune fine. His clapped out Fox has different color on every body panel. Deal. The Patreon link isn't working. Look, I literally copy and paste. Copy and paste. Would you rather be cancel YouTube and go Patreon? That's up to you. You're gonna lose your badge, the pregnant man emoji. So it's up to you. You might have worked hard for that. Joe seems like a Catfish Camaro guy. What color is Joe's couch that touches the wall? Alex only shows you the helicopter if you PayPal him $500. Don't ask me how I know. By the way, shout out to Late Model Performance. Late Model Performance, boop. Alec Bledsoe and the guys sent me a flex fuel kit. That's right, an actual flex fuel sensor for the ZR1. So I don't have to mix the E50 with a beaker and a lap coat. If I want to run E50 or E85, I got to get tuned for it. Put this guy in line, put this guy in the PCM, pin 40 something, and tune the car. And then I have a car that's able to run on 93 and E85 mix. I would never do hot dog water and E85. I plan to run, because it's a stock fuel pump, no more than like E50 or E60. But if I get an auxiliary pump, I'll run E85, and that bitch is gonna wake up on E85. I'm expecting 800 horsepower. I'm expecting 800 horsepower, 4s, 60 to 130, stock cam. That's the goal. Best clutch for lightly modded Gen 1 RST McLeod. Real question is, why my Lund car has a speed limiter? I can't do 60 to 160 races. There's a hard limiter at 157 or 155 or something like that. Oh, no. If it's a 4 or 5 shift issue, hit up Lund. This isn't a Lund channel. This is my channel. You got a Lund issue? Hit up Lund. Support at LundRacing.com. Say something in your ticket. Hey, Alex, can I put an ESSG4 on my Mach 1 and make 1,000 horsey torqueys? Absolutely. Just pay both like a G. I mean, you could. Joe's ZR1 is stealth. Dang, Alec is telling you where to go. So I'm hoping that I'm able to get this installed probably next week or so. Got to talk to the guy that helps me tune, Tom. Great guy. I'm going to say, hey, what do I got to flip? What switches I got to flip? What do I got to do? And fuck around and find out on the E50 stuff. Patreon videos showing us, Alex, tune your car in the nude. You know what I could do on the Patreon, guys? I wouldn't show you proprietary tuning stuff that happens because that's Lund's stuff. I respect Lund's stuff. But I could definitely show you some stuff tuning related if you guys ask for it. So if you're a Patreon member, suggest videos that you want me to do on Patreon and I'll do them there specifically. Alex, about to get paid. I just signed up for Patreon for the first time, so I'm double dipping. Y'all can find them if you do your search. YDBT. 2 Borla Attack or 2 Corsa Extremes on my Gen 2. It's the same shit. It's not the same shit. Literally the same shit. Everyone's struggling. Just Google Patreon, log in, type YDBT. Like type in YDBT. There is my Patreon. Nice little pink shirt. Or is it pink? No, it's like a peach colored shirt. Orange. Looking all good in front of the boat in Palm Beach. Shit. Motherfuckers out there in Oklahoma making fun of the fact that I rent. Please. My rent is double your mortgage. Stop it. Alex running E50. Thought I'd never see the day. No. I'm not mixing E50. Then putting it in my BMW. The sensor tells you how much ethanol you're running. And I wouldn't run past it depending on the fuel pump. But I am mixing shit. I'm literally throwing it in there and see what it does. But if Alec Bledsoe and the tuner says, look, get an auxiliary fuel pump or a fuel system, don't fuck around, I'll do that. I'll leave this off and run race gas until I can. The problem is a fuel system for the Corvette requires you dropping the fucking torque tube. If I'm dropping the torque tube, I'm doing a clutch job. If I'm doing a clutch job, I'm fixing the second gear synchro. So this can lead me down a path of spending $5,000. You understand? Paid Patreon membership equals give us access to all the Lund files. Nice. I would never do that. Patreon, no, never pump E50. Pump E50, 50% ethanol, 50% horse hooves. Joe is probably delusional and disgruntled S650 owner, EcoBoost at that. That's pink, Alex. Just kidding. It's peach. Hey, I live in Oklahoma. Nothing wrong with Oklahoma, but don't you dare stay there in your single wide and tell me that I'm a bitch for renting in Palm Beach County, where 1/3 of an acre goes for like $3 million. Shut up. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah, Joe's not answering what color is his ZR1. Joe, what color is your ZR1? Where you at? I knew it was pink. Alex, we're in peach looking. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. So let's wrap it up. We learned that the JPC car is about 400 pounds lighter than stock based on what they posted and based on what late model restoration posted for a stock weight. 3,800 with a 150-pound driver is 3,950. They had their car weighing 3,550 or so when they ran their 10.8 NA, which is badass, and 10.1 or 10.2 with 100 shot of nitrous. Badass shit. So shout out to JPC for doing something that no one else is doing. But again, why are we doing this? Are you doing this to sell it as a package? Is a customer going to do that? Is the typical S650 customer going to take it that far? We'll see. But I'm waiting for tuning and boost and doing it that way, full weight. No, thank you on the gutting stuff. But again, congratulations to them. Hi, Alex. Besides oil pump gears, do you recommend any other upgrades to an 18 F-150 with 65,000 miles? Debating on Whipple Gen 5. Don't need to make big power. You want reliable power. It's really easy. A Whipple Gen 5 with a 3.8 pulley and headers, it's a 10-second truck on pump gas. 10.8, 10.9. So if you want reliable power, intercooler's great, heat exchanger's great. Whipple makes a great product for the F-150. OPGs, if you just want some insurance, and a Whipple Gen 5, 132 throttle body, bigger cold air, you're going to live a long, happy life on pump gas with a 3.8 pulley and about a 55-pound injector. That's all you need. And now, at least Mike H has a job. Nice. Good night, ladies and gents. And again, we talked about potentially Jim Farley having to show up at Congress, Capitol Hill, and testify why his relationship with Cattle dissolved? And how is he and the Biden administration involved in the Chinese Communist Party having a plant, a battery plant, basically sponsored by Ford in Michigan? Oh, that's going to be good shit. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good rest of your night. I'll see you guys on Sunday for the peasant chat. We'll see what happens between now and then. See if any other bullshit happens. If not, I'll come up with something to talk about, as I always do. See you guys later. Have a good rest of your night.